Hi peeps, how we all doing? Right, so yeah, I'm going out for a little wander up to Castle Hill today. Had a bit of a shock today. I had a letter to say that I need to be strapped up to a heart monitor for 24 hours. Now, it wasn't something that was raised during my stroke evaluation or anything like that, so it came as a bit of a shock. But through our therapy nurses, I've joined up with a bloke. I haven't met him yet, called Matt. Matt lives over in Melton Mowbray, not far from here. Got 3 kids. Feels very similar to myself in the fact that everything's been taken away from him. So we've hooked up and we've spoken several times now on the phone. So ironically, on Friday, when I spoke to him, he was on about the fact that he was hooked up to a heart monitor. So I've rung him today and asked for his advice. Is this something that's standard? And it turns out it is. Yeah, it would have been nice if the medical people had told us instead of me finding out through Matt, but it was great that I found that through him, because apparently he was strapped up for 24 hours, same as what they're on about me doing, but he's just been strapped up for 3 days as well. So he just handed it back today, back to Glenfield Hospital. As he said, he's glad to get rid of it, because again, it was taking his independence away. But like I say, through all these stroke forums and that, I'm finding out quite a bit about what goes on with regards to stroke recovery, and that's why I'm going out for a walk. Hello, mate. Why I'm going out for a walk, because, like I say, it was a bit of a shock. Anyway, that's an update on that. The other update is, would you believe, I actually picked up my bass guitar on Tuesday night, I think it was, and I played a couple of riffs for about half an hour. They weren't perfect, but at least I was managing to get my left hand on the fretboard. So again, another achievement. Yeah, and these are all small achievements that I'm making. So that's what I'm looking at. This is going to be a long process, and I'm going to make small achievements and tick them off the box. So yeah, it's looking good. The other thing is, I mentioned, because Keith was on about old Starmer and the fact that his uncle was torpedoed during the Falklands. I think you'll find what he's on about is his uncle may have been on one of the ships that was bombed, not torpedoed, during the Falklands War. Or it may be that his uncle was involved in something during the Second World War. And I know some ships were down in the Falklands during the Second World War, and there were some casualties. So maybe that's the case. But again, our wonderful Prime Minister has shown that he's totally inept. Yeah, because one of the things he should have done was make sure he got his facts right. But whilst we're talking about that, he's given away an island, and I put a comment in there about the fact that my mum came from a little island called St Helena. Now, some of you may not know it, some of you may. St Helena is one of the most remote places on the planet. So remote that old Napoleon was exiled there and died there. Yeah, now a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that he was exiled to Elba and that's where he died. No, he actually escaped from Elba, and after the Battle of Waterloo he was then shipped off down to St Helena. Now, St Helena, as I put in my comment with Keith, is a British overseas territory, and they are probably more patriotic than people in this country. Yeah, they're proud to be British. They're proud to stand up at the national anthem and so on. Yeah, and these people, like I say, they're middle of the South Atlantic Ocean. Now, is it going to be a case of old Starmer's going to say, oh, we can do without them as well, and we'll hand that back? But who are you handing it back to? Now, I know at one stage, the Portuguese took it off the British, then the British took it back. So, let's see. But the nearest island that I've been to, on my flight down to the Falklands, we stopped off at Ascension Island. And that's the nearest I've been to what people would probably call my homeland. Yeah, even though I'm from Portsmouth. Yeah, that's the nearest I've ever been to St Helena. But while I was down in the Falklands at MPA, there was a lot of St Helenians, or Saints as we call them, working in the garrison down in the Falklands. And at the time I was looking for my Uncle Hansel, who worked for Turner's, the construction company down in the Falklands. But I couldn't find him. And as it is, Uncle Hansel is actually younger than me by about 5 years. So it was just that the woman that was coming in to clean my office, yeah, I realised she was a saint. And she'd been cleaning my office for a couple of weeks while I was down there. And I said to her about Hansel Bennett. And she went, I know Hansel very well. She said, but he can't be your uncle, because I'm pretty sure he's younger than you. I said, yeah, I know he is. And we got chatting. And she turned around and said to me, so you're Rose Bennett's grandson? And I went, yeah. She said, I live 5 doors down from your nan. Yeah. How's that for a coincidence? All those thousands of miles, and I ended up meeting someone that knew my nan. My nan I only met probably 3 or 4 times. First time was I'd just been through basic training, went to Borden to do my basic trade training, and we were doing some charity work, selling flags for the Cheshire Homes down south. Well, they sent me to Portsmouth to go and sell these flags. What a mistake that was. You know, there I am in my number 2s, stood in Commercial Road, selling these flags. Of course, I've got all my mates that I knew from school were coming along and taking the mick. But the next thing I knew was this woman had jumped all over me and was trying to kiss me, and I'm trying to push her off. And I happened to push my head to one side to see my mum across the road on Commercial Road saying, it's your nan. I'd never met her. There I was, 18-year-old, never met my nan. But I met her a few other times when myself and my first wife got married. Grandad and Nan came over. Now my granddad, there's another story for you. Grandad fought during the Second World War. And during one of the battles was actually bayoneted by a German soldier. That German soldier felt so sorry for what he'd done, he stopped and gave my granddad first aid, and then ended up getting captured and made a prisoner of war. Well, Grandad and Heinrich stayed very good friends right the way up until the time that my granddad died. My granddad died, I think it was in the 90s. He came over from St Helena, came over for a heart bypass operation and didn't survive it. But yeah, my granddad, he was with the St Helenian Rifles. So yeah, I've got a family history of being in the military. My dad was in the military as well. Yeah, my dad's actually, excuse my French, I'm not going to be politically correct about this. Yeah, he was a whitey from Aldershot. Like I say, I don't do politically correct. It's like this whole thing with me being mixed race, dual heritage, whatever it may be. I can't be dealing with it. It changes on a weekly basis. But yeah, so there's a little history lesson for you about St Helena. So go online, have a look at St Helena. There's a thing called Jacob's Ladder. Look at the pictures of that. It leads down into Jamestown. Years ago, the only way to get to St Helena was via the Royal Mail ship St Helena, and it sailed from Southampton. Probably took about 2 or 3 weeks to get to St Helena itself. Now, there actually is an airport on St Helena. It's actually above where my nan used to live in Rupert's Valley. The British government paid millions of pounds to build an airport, and then when they tried to land a plane on it, they couldn't land a plane on it because of the sheer winds. Now, obviously we now can't put large passenger aircraft on there. What you have to do is fly to South Africa. I think it's Johannesburg you fly to, and then you fly from there onto St Helena on a chartered flight, which is only a small thing. So one of the things that I need to do is get myself down to St Helena, and me and Lisa are looking at probably doing that in the next couple of years. So that's an update on everything with me. Hope we're all doing well. Keith, with regards to the cap and the t-shirt, yeah, put my name down, mate. I'm having one of those. Yeah, defo. And I saw someone mention about a beret with the Let's Tab logo on it. Yeah, and probably donating the proceeds of that to Scottish Little Soldiers, which Keith did the 80-mile walk for just about a month ago, which I think is a great idea. Let's keep the charity work for Scottish Little Soldiers going. Anyway, so I'll say goodbye to you now, and like I say, also Keith says, if you want to subscribe to this channel, please feel free to do so. We're not telling you to do it, we're just asking you to consider it. So take care, have a good time, and as Keith says, let's tap.